Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I just came back from Esxence in Milan and I have discovered a lot of new perfume releases. Some already available, some almost available, and some only available in the future, meaning like late October, September. So it got me thinking actually what kind of video should I film after that Milan trip, and I decided to review new perfumes that are already available, at least in their website. These perfumes have just been released and I'm just so excited to share them with you all because I think that you will be very interested about these releases. If you watch my channel, you know that I love reviewing new perfume releases, may it be Middle Eastern, indie, or niche. So today I will be reviewing 5 new niche and indie perfumes that I just recently discovered. By the way, I want to ask you if you actually find it useful if I review a fragrance that is not yet available, or you prefer this style just like me talking about perfumes that are actually available already in the market. Let me know in the comments down below. Anyway, I would love to start this video with the coolest perfume bottle release so far this year. This is from Room1015 and this is called Wasabi Klub. I said the coolest bottle yet because Wasabi Klub's bottle is glow in the dark. Let me pop a photo of it on the screen. I don't think I own any glow in the dark perfume bottle. So yeah, Wasabi Klub by Room1015, such a cool bottle. But now let's talk about the scent. This perfume has just been released in June 8th. It was kind of like a surprise actually, as I didn't expect that they will actually release a new perfume for summer. Anyway, this scent though smells super fresh, almost like aldehydic actually in the opening, but it's not. At first, I thought I was smelling aldehydes. There's something about it that kind of reminds me of Love-O-Matic by Room1015 as well in the opening, but it's actually not. That aldehyde lasts only for like 2 to 3 seconds. What I actually get after that are like big bursts of fresh citrus, mainly grapefruit and yuzu. So having said that, very fresh and citrusy, quite uplifting as well. There is a very unique zing to it coming from the wasabi. It is quite peppery as well as it is drying down. And then in the final dry down, I will say that it is mainly clean, citrus, green, cold scent. Wasabi Klub has a very interesting texture of concrete in the base that makes it feel cold to the feel, almost stone-like. So I'm gonna describe it as more of like a modern cold green scent that is perfect for everyday use, especially this summertime. Me and my husband already tested this fragrance and gave it like a full day wear test, and we are actually pleased by how it made us feel. As mentioned, it is mainly a fresh green citrusy scent. However, what I love about it is that it has that stone-like cold texture, especially in the final dry down. Very modern, fresh, citrusy green scent that I think a lot of you will enjoy. I will say it is in the same ballpark as Love-O-Matic. They're not similar at all, okay? It's just that both of them have that fresh and clean aspect to them. This is a big love to me. Very unisex. My husband enjoyed it and I enjoyed it as well. Longevity-wise, we wore it on a very hot and humid day. Lasted us around 4 to 6 hours. Moderate projection, such a cooling modern take of a green scent, and I highly recommend it. If you are looking for a fresh, clean smelling modern green scent to add in your collection. Once again, Wasabi Klub by Room1015. Also, I just want to add that Wasabi Klub smells different on paper compared to skin. On my skin, this dries down to this very cold textured, fresh grapefruit, lime, and yuzu combo with that underlying cold concrete in the base. On paper, it smells very aldehydic and citrusy. So yeah, having said that, try it on your skin. And actually always try perfumes on your skin and never rely on testing strips when deciding to purchase a fragrance. All right, next up is the newest release of Versatile Paris. This is called Very Bad Rice. Now, if you watch my channel, you know that I recently discovered Versatile Paris and I really enjoy the fun and realistic scents that they create. So Very Bad Rice is their newest release. I have tested this as well on skin and on clothes already. Did the full day wear test. Actually, all of these perfumes I have already tested on skin and on clothes, did a full day wear test. And Very Bad Rice, I would say, is more of a gourmand scent. The opening is very milky. I would say the coconut milk is very prominent. Very Bad Rice is actually inspired by mango sticky rice. So imagine the sticky rice soaked in coconut milk. That is the opening of this fragrance. And then as it dries down, the mango slowly peeks through. However, it's just in the background. I don't find the mango to be like the main note that I'm getting from here, because to my nose, this is mainly sticky rice soaked with coconut milk with the mango in the background. And then the final dry down, I will say, is very sweet. So it has an ube note as well, which is very popular in Asian desserts. If you still don't know, it is called, I think, purple yam in English. And in Asia, it is actually used to make a lot of desserts. It is one of my favorite flavor of ice cream. Actually, back home, ube just hits differently to me. It is sweet, thick, very addictive. And all I can say is that the ube is very prominent in the final dry down, because this fragrance has that sweet and thick texture. However, it is still light and airy. But I know that there's something like quite heavy textured sweetness. So final dry down is sweet ube with that milky, sticky rice with the mango just floating in the background. So yes, this is more of like a rice gourmand scent. So if you love gourmand and if you love rice in fragrances, I highly recommend you checking out Very Bad Rice. Versatile Paris perfumes now come in 30 ml spray bottles. Before, they used to only sell roll-ons, and yeah, just so happy that they are now available in spray bottles, very reasonably priced as well. Very addictive, highly recommend for all the rice and gourmand lovers out there. Performance-wise, it lasted me around 4 to 6 hours, and I find this fragrance to be feminine leaning. All right, next up is the newest release of Bon Parfumeur. This is called Riviera Absolue 005. As the name suggests, it smells very summery because it is. Basically, this is a complex, citrusy, zesty, sweet scent that smells incredible. Riviera Absolue opens up quite masculine leaning. The bergamot, ginger, and cardamom are very prominent in the opening, along with that tomato leaf that kind of like gave this fragrance that minty feel to it. However, as it dries down, the neroli peeks through along with the black tea, balancing it out. The final dry down feels like a bit dry with the fresh citrus in the background. So it smells like a freshie with a dry and resinous base that is also quite sweet. I love how it mixes with my skin chemistry. I think On me, it actually ended up smelling a little bit like sweet, musky, green, grassy, minty. However, dry and resinous to the feel, I find that quite unique. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I featured Riviera Absolue as one of my best discoveries from Esxence. In my opinion, it stands out because I find it quite complex and unique. I haven't really come across a freshie that has like this dry, resinous and sweet background. The opening of this fragrance might feel masculine leaning. However, I'm telling you, in the final dry down, it is unisex and I would say quite leaning more feminine. I highly recommend you checking out Riviera Absolue if the sound of a lemon, ginger, mint tea with a dry, resinous, and sweet base sounds appealing to you. Riviera Absolue on me lasts around 5 to 7 hours. I have worn it in like a very hot and humid day. So yeah, just take note of that as well. A beautiful unisex summer freshie. Once again, Riviera Absolue 005 by Bon Parfumeur. All right, next up is the newest release of Kajal, and this is called Dahab Absolue. So Dahab Absolue is actually a flanker of Dahab, also from Kajal, of course. And if you're not yet familiar with Dahab, it is more of like a fruity, musky scent. I have here Dahab OG and I have compared them side by side. It's not redundant to own both because Dahab Absolue definitely smells different from Dahab. I would say the base is still Dahab DNA. So it has that caramelized fruits DNA with added jammy rose. Dahab Absolue is such a sophisticated floral fruity scent. I will say actually this is more on the rose than the fruits. Dahab Absolue is more about that added jammy rose and vanilla. This to me smells very sophisticated. I love rose in fragrances, so this is a straight up winner. Imagine light and airy rose with caramelized fruits and moss in the base. Dahab Absolue is also one of my favorite discoveries in Esxence. To me, this is a very sophisticated rose scent that can be a signature scent. I can imagine wearing Dahab Absolue as a signature scent. There's something about Dahab Absolue that to me feels like a perfect signature scent. Like, yes, I will wear this as a signature scent if ever. I love it so much. Like, this is my type of scent profile. Light and airy, slightly powdery, jammy rose with airy mango and passion fruit. Love it so much. I highly recommend Dahab Absolue as I'm giving this one like a 10 out of 10. I'm wearing it today and I am definitely loving how I smell like. One of my absolute best discoveries from Esxence this year. Once again, Dahab Absolue by Kajal, and I find this fragrance to be feminine leaning. So the last perfume in today's video is the latest release of Scentologia, and this is called Nitro Musk. Nitro Musk or Nitro Musk. This is actually like my first fragrance from the brand, even though like, yes, it's only a 10 ml. So Nitro Musk is a musky floral scent, very fresh and clean smelling. The florals that I'm getting out of here are definitely jasmine, peony, and lily of the valley. It has this watery aspect to it that I'm loving because it's very light and airy to the feel. I have used Nitro Musk under the sun and it lingered beautifully in the air. So that is my favorite thing about it. Very light and airy, but very well projecting as well. The floral is not heady at all, even though it is more of like a floral musky scent. It has that watery feel to it, and I guess It is coming from the peony. It smells very feminine, clean, and fresh. The final dry down is all about that clean musk with the soft white florals. Very beautiful release. It reminds me a bit of Tilia by Marc-Antoine Barrois. Like, I definitely got the similarity at first spray. However, with Nitro Musk, I find it to be more feminine leaning, as the florals are more pronounced in here. So if you find Tilia to be too masculine leaning or like too unisex for your feminine vibes, then I highly recommend you checking out Nitro Musk. Beautiful floral musky scent that actually lasts. This on me lasts around 5 to 7 hours under the heat, with the first 2 hours to be having strong projection. Once again, Nitro Musk by Scentologia, and I find this fragrance to be unisex, however, leaning more feminine. So that is the video for today, guys. Those are my opinion about this new perfume releases. Let me know if you've tried any of them, and let me know if you would want to hear my reviews about fragrances that are actually about to be released. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, guys, and see you on my next one. Bye!